Alright, hello and welcome to another Train Sim World 2 video. This time I'm driving the new Class 395 from London St Pancras all the way to Strood. Although, technically I don't end up going all the way to Strood, I actually end the video before we get there because, to be quite honest, the journey was taking quite a while, and so I basically wanted to, in this video, get everything about the 395 out in one go. Now obviously there is quite a few interesting things about the 395. First of all, it's a high speed train. It's very quick on AC power anyway, and I'll talk about AC power right now actually because I'm about to switch it on. So AC power comes from the overhead wires that you're going to be seeing from St Pancras all the way to Ebbsfleet. And basically AC power is what's flowing through the wires and what the train is going to pick up by using the pantograph. So that's pretty important because AC power is arguably much better than DC power, at least in the case of powering this train, because you'll see a definite difference in just the acceleration alone when we switch this thing from AC to DC. DC will be happening later on in the video. I am definitely going to be showing it. I'll be showing the process as well of how to do that. But basically, you can switch between the two different power modes, and this is in the scenario planning mode, so obviously there are a few things to keep in mind with that. You will notice that we are measuring in kilometers per hour on the actual in-dashboard speedometer, but my heads-up display still says miles per hour, and that's because I set my speedometer to always be in miles per hour, so it never changes to kilometers. So it's just a thing to help me, because I always measure in miles per hour. I don't understand kilometers per hour. I don't even know how far a kilometer is, so miles per hour is just easier for me to get a sort of grip on, really. But basically, yeah, when you're on this section of the line and you didn't set the heads-up display to always read in a certain configuration, right now it would be displaying kilometers per hour, and we're about to turn TVM on now. So as you can see, when we went into the tunnel, TVM, the system that basically tells you the speed limit on the current line, sprung into life. And TVM features on this locomotive. It also features on the TGV that we've already seen from a DLC that I don't have, LGV Mediterranean. That's a DLC that I do not have, but yeah, it does feature on that locomotive as well. It's a pretty neat system. It's intended to sort of give the driver the information that he needs, he or she, all day, or it's whoever. Basically the driver of the train needs to know what the speed limit is. But of course, when you're flying along here at 140 miles an hour, you're not really going to be able to see the speed limit signs and then adjust accordingly, because you just can't read that fast and you won't really notice them. It'll just be a blur. So in order to help with that, TVM is there to step in and tell you what the speed limit is in kilometers per hour, because it's a European system. I say European, England, the UK is part of Europe, but over on continental Europe, kilometers and such is mainly used. So anyway, I think that covers TVM and AC power. And once again, DC power will make the train a lot more sluggish than it is right now. This is pretty much the best kind of acceleration you can expect out of the 395, but it is quite fast. And I'm pretty impressed with how it's gone so far. I mean, with Dovetail making this train, Dovetail were in charge of Southeastern High Speed. That DLC, Southeastern High Speed, dropped on the 4th of February 2021. So if you're watching this in the future, hello. my microphone quality is crap, so this isn't really how people in the past used to communicate with each other. But yeah, basically it dropped, we got this train from it, and also the 375, which I'll be showing later on. But by later on I basically mean the next video that I'm going to be doing on Train Sim World 2 will be featuring the 375, but probably on the sort of slower speed section of this line, because this particular route goes from London St Pancras all the way to Faversham. Now in real life the route probably goes a lot further than that, but Dovetail Games, you know, with the whole they have to choose how long of a route they want. They have to devote a certain amount of time to each DLC, and so they basically decided, let's draw the line at Faversham and leave it there. So then, you know, obviously you can't go all the way down the line, but you know, you can go pretty far. And it's only the St Pancras to Ebbsfleet section of the line that is the high speed part of it, because otherwise you wouldn't really be going above 70. So yeah, just keep that in mind. If that disappoints anyone, I do apologise. But there are some high speed routes that are in Train Sim World 2 that you can take this on if you so please, with the scenario planner. Like I said, that's what I'm using to bring you this. The features all still work and I'm using it as intended. But yeah, all goes well with the 395. In a moment I'm going to cut ahead to when we jump out of the tunnel at I believe Dagenham in London, and then we'll be going towards Ebbsfleet. Right, here's the end of the tunnel coming up pretty quickly. Ready for the daylight? Ready for the daylight? I know I am. I had to sit in that tunnel for ages. Daylight. Brilliant. So, now what I have to do is I have to mention another interesting thing that came with this DLC, and that is the Trainbow livery. And I know that Trainbow is a bad pun. I know that 15 of you probably just died instantly in your seats, just, you know, hearing me say the word Trainbow. But that is what the livery is called. That is a real thing. It happens in real life. Train companies will basically paint a rainbow on their trains. So it's not just Southeastern as a company, rail company, that does that. There's also LNER, for example, that does that, and probably Great Western Railway, which already does feature in Train Sim World. So there you go. But no Trainbow liveries for those, because I don't think they were introduced around that time. Basically, a Trainbow livery is intended to help raise awareness and celebrate Pride. So, you know, LGBTQ+. I believe it's LGBTQ+. I'm probably going to say LGBT from now on because it's much shorter and much easier for me to say. I do trip over my words a lot. And LGBTQ+ is not easy to say very quickly. So that's why I'm saying it LGBT. But basically, that's what it's for. And it is it's a nice thing. I do appreciate it. I'm a member of the community myself, so I do appreciate it. I think it's very nice that they're doing such things, and I think they do run special services at the time of Pride parades and festivals, etc, etc. So I think it's pretty nice. Also, railway staff do have special rainbow badges that I've seen. I know they definitely do on GWR, so that's nice. Not in game though, those won't. I don't think they're going to be in game, but yeah, the Trainbow livery is in the game. It is not selectable, technically it's not, but I'm going to explain all that in just a second. I'm going to show you a clip of it. So here we are, and I've got it here. Now I did choose a specified scenario in order to get this instantly, but here you go. This is 395012. That's the name of the number associated with the train. So 395012. Remember that, because this is the only train in the fleet that has this special livery. So if you get 395012 randomly in the game, well, you'll see the Rainbow livery. Today I haven't got it because I've got 395004 at this precise moment, and then later on I'll have 395022. But basically the game will pick, let's say, an assortment of random numbers for the trains. So in the fleet that Southeastern have, I believe there's about 30 plus 395s. So they go at least up to 39530. 395 being the class of the train, and then the numbers after that being the actual number of the unit. So number of the unit, I assume it's production time, so you know 001 would have been produced before 002 and so on and so forth. I assume that's how it works. Might work a little bit differently, they might just assign them basically when they bought them, something like that. But yeah, you could get any from 395001, 395012 up to whatever, however many there are in the fleet, and that is completely random. But it is important to note that the game will never pick the same one twice. So if, for example, you started a service and you had 395004, as I've got today, then all the other trains on the line, none of them would be 395004, they would just be other ones. So there is a chance that even if you don't get the Trainbow, Trainbow livery on 395012, it may appear on another train on the line. But like I said, it's all random, and it's a 1 in 30 plus chance either way you swing it. So it's a rare occasion, but I think that will make it pretty special. I do hope that when they release another DLC and there is a train in the fleet that does feature a livery with a rainbow on it, that they include it. I think it's very nice of them to include it. There's also the specified scenario called Taking Pride, and there's a couple of services there that you can do where you'll have the specified livery. So if you definitely want to see it, that's a way to check it out. Anyway, I'm now going to be performing the power changeover at Ebbsfleet. I'm going to show you how that works, or at least how I do it. It does work, but this is just me showing you here's what I did, and here's how the whole process works. You don't really need to worry about it too much. But yeah, once I stop, I'll be starting up another service again, just basically doing this one, but from Ebbsfleet this time, and then performing the operation. Anyway, the power changeover itself, that's pretty simple, because there's only 3 buttons that you really need to kind of keep track of for that. It really is that simple, and I know it will take some getting used to for me and other people who are playing the game, but I think it's nice that it's a little bit simple. So CTRL raises basically means that you're controlling the pantograph, if I can speak properly. Now at the moment we're in DC power because, you know, I have to basically reset it to show you the pantograph going down. I've now selected the pantograph, and we should be on AC power right now. Now if we're on AC power, that means that the pantograph should be up. Now on this specific line, yes, it did go up, but on other ones it didn't. But just to let you know that when that CTRL is lit up, that basically means you're on AC power and you need to switch it to DC, which is right next door. The pantograph should lower if it raised up to begin with, and then you press this button basically twice. And there you go. We're now on DC power. That's fairly painless, although because I haven't really mastered it yet, sometimes it for some reason doesn't want to work. I don't know what I'm quite doing wrong with that. I should maybe practice a bit more and see if I can work out what keeps going wrong, but this time it worked just fine. And you'll notice that in DC power the train is more sluggish. It takes a while to get up to speed, but that is fine because we are using power from the third rail, and to be honest, you don't really want to be blasting along at 100 miles an hour down here. Well, first of all, the signals, when you need to stop, they'll turn red. So if you blow past a red signal, you're out of luck. You just failed the whole thing. So yeah, it's pretty good that we don't get the sort of immediate the immediate adrenaline rush of just pure speed on DC power, because from this moment on, this is basically the olden days section of the line, the section of the line that only has a maximum speed of 70 at a couple of points, and that's it. And these stations are fairly close together, so you don't really want to be overshooting them. This is basically kind of the bog standard commuter line section, if you want to call it that. And the third rail runs from Ebbsfleet all the way to Faversham. So from this moment onwards, we just end up at Faversham if we kept going to the end of the line. And coming back, you can only go as far as Ebbsfleet. You can't go into London St Pancras. If you're playing this in timetable mode, you won't ever go on the 375 to London St Pancras. It's just not possible, because there is no third rail. At least I don't think there is, and there's no signals for you. Maybe probably past that point. So yeah, but in scenario planning mode, you can do whatever you want. You could, if you wanted to, drive along the whole length of the line in something that wasn't really built to go along this line, and you'd still make it, because in scenario planning mode, every single train will behave like it's always powered by something. So yeah, if you want to have fun with that, you can have fun with that. The game will not stop you if you really want to do that. But for the purists out there who want to play everything by the rules, those are the rules. Third rail power from Ebbsfleet all the way to Faversham. That's it. Well, driving the 395 is a pretty nice experience, but I do feel it's quite slow on DC power. It feels like the 375 on DC power. It feels like a commuter train when I don't know, part of me thinks that it really shouldn't, but I also understand why, because it is performing basically commuter services from here on out. And that's an interesting aspect, is that it's not just all high speed, it's a variety with the 395. And I shall look forward to using this in scenario planning mode, basically on routes other than this one, because it's fun, because it's a high speed train, you can go really fast, and it just looks nice. It is a modern train that I actually like the look of. That's surprising. You can also move the wipers left and right if you want, so you can move them to be parked on one side or the other, depending on what you want. I'm guessing that it will probably be easier if you're driving on a certain side of the line to have them on one side as opposed to the other. However, I've never really wanted to move them from being on the right. I think they're fine there. Other features in the cab, you obviously have the ability to turn the wipers on. You've got the ability to turn on the cab lights, turn on the headlights, stuff like that. And then there's the PIS system, Passenger Information System, which actually does feature inside of the train. So you know the notice boards on the outside of the train that tell you the destination, where it's going? Well, they've also got those boards inside the train in the actual carriages, so passengers inside the train can see where they're going. Obviously they probably would have looked at the boards on the outside, and they probably would know where a train was going, but that's just to kind of remind you. You know, it's a cool feature. I think that's the first time that they've done something like that, so that's impressive. Again, really nice. I think Dovetail, for the most part, have done a great job on this. It is not perfect by any means, by any stretch of the imagination. It's just not perfect. I don't expect it to be, but because it's such a new DLC, it does have its issues. And I have been on the Dovetail forums, and I have seen what people have been saying about the issues. So I know that they exist, but I think that you kind of expect that with every new release of something, there are probably going to be some little things that need ironing out. It is mostly little things. And things like the wipers not really making a sound, at least that was on PC. That was mentioned in the stream as well, they picked up on that. And yeah, just fixes here and there that aren't quite right, but the team have said that they are going to try and promptly fix those. So that's very nice of them to do. I haven't run into any problems relating to Southeastern High Speed, so I'd say overall they did a good job. If I haven't run into any problems that are just completely game breaking, then I'd say it's fine. It's fine. Train seems fine as it is. I don't mind there not being a wiper sound, because to be honest I can barely hear the wipers anyway, usually. And yeah, I just think it's well done for what it is, for what you get. 375, we'll get onto that next time, but do be prepared for it not to be much about the 375 though, because I'll be honest, the 375 is a carbon copy of the 377, but it is supposed to be. It's not like they just got lazy. It is like that in real life. It is very, very, very similar. Either way, that's next time, and we are about to finish with this video. 22 minutes and 26 seconds of the 395 running along. I think that's enough time. Thank you very much for coming along. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you look forward to seeing the 395 in future videos of mine as well. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.